Listen, guys, I'm back with another set of stories for you. This set of stories, I combined them to make it a little bit longer. Algorithm wise, it doesn't really put it out there unless it's 10 to 15 minutes long, and it's different. It affects the algorithm differently. But we have a Dogman encounter and a little people story. Now, to me, the little people story that happened in Covington, Louisiana is amazing. It's crazy. We're talking about them finding a burial mound on the back end of a person's private property right by the Trafonta River and deciding that they're going to push this mound over, and these little people come out of the mound and jump into the river. Now, you can look it up, the Trafonta River. There's a whole bunch of neighborhoods that are right along the edge of the Trafonta River, but they come out, jump into the river. And in the story, it seems like it's weeks, but it's really months that pass before they have their first fundraiser. And then during that fundraiser, people are attacked by what I only can believe is these little people. And you know that in Native American traditions, the little people are considered to be mischievous and crazy and do little evil, wicked things to get back at people. And it just makes perfect sense. That's what this was. I want to get your opinion on it. The other one is a Dogman encounter. And in my opinion, this is not flesh and blood Dogman. This is something demonic. The guy wasn't hallucinating. He's not crazy. Spent a significant amount of time talking to him, so he's not out of his mind. He went through a terrible time. And again, it just goes to show you that there are certain conditions under which people encounter these cryptids. And those conditions tend to be you are in a bad state. Financially, emotionally, physically, there's something going on with you when you start to encounter these things. And I just want you guys to be mindful that if you find yourself encountering these things, that it may be a good time to do a spiritual checkup. You know what I'm saying? Get your behind back in church, do something for yourself, as opposed to just being fascinated with, oh, I saw a dog man. Let me find out who else has seen one. Who else has seen a dog man? Oh, by the way, look at my YouTube plaque back there. Hello, YouTube plaque. Get yourself a spiritual checkup. You know what I'm saying? If you got a cough and a runny nose, you go to the doctor because you might have the flu. If you got a toothache and you got pain in your mouth, hey man, you need to go see a dentist. And this is really what it boils down to. You're just experiencing symptoms, something larger and greater. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all enjoy the show. Peace out. Peace.
Do things seem off? Trouble sleeping? Issues in your marriage, finances, or with extended family and friends? These are challenges that many men face, but you don't have to face them alone. The Men of Steel prayer group is here for you. We are a fellowship of individuals who share a common interest in the paranormal and cryptid fields, united in our quest for understanding the supernatural. Our goal is to educate and guide those curious or seeking insight into the supernatural, emphasizing the role of Jesus Christ as the supreme authority over the supernatural realm. Visit us at strongmenpraying.com to learn more. The Men of Steel prayer group, where faith and curiosity forge a stronger spirit.
So I took this job for Brightside Landscaping Development. Phenomenal job. When I tell you, coming from the job that I was in before and moving to this one, it was like moving from hell into heaven. Things were fantastic. I loved it. I mean, I really, really did. But then things kind of got a little bit crazy. Now, I know the story I'm about to tell you is short, and in your mind, you're probably going to be like, this dude is retarded. But I'm not. I promise you, this is what happened. We get this job in Covington, Louisiana by the Trafonta River. The people wanted to redo their entire backyard, redo the front landscaping, and make their space more for entertaining people. The family wanted to touch up their front lawn and completely renovate their backyard because they had plans on entertaining people and doing fundraisers. So we go through the preliminaries, drafting up the plans, coming to agreement, going through the quoting process. They make their deposit, and wham, we get to work. Now listen to me, I don't know who owned this land before them or where it was from, but if you go on the very, very far side of their property, they have a dock where they park their boats. To the left of their dock was this mound of dirt and grass. It had to be 10 feet long, maybe 6 feet high. I'm back there with the bulldozer operator. I tell him we're going to level this off, extend the dock out. I'm going through all the plans. Now listen to this crazy shit. He angles that bulldozer, hits that mound. The dirt starts rolling off of it. Some of it's falling into the river. And I'm telling him go a little bit slower. When I start to see these little bitty hands reaching up through the dirt. They kind of look like babies' hands reaching out of the dirt, but the fingers are freaking moving. And at first I'm saying to myself, Raj, you got to be hallucinating. This can't be real. He keeps pushing the dirt. And more hands come out of the dirt. And so I'm like, wait, stop, hold on, hold up, stop. You need to come see this. So he hops out of the bulldozer, runs up onto the dirt, and he sees these hands now trying to dig themselves out of the dirt. The two of us stand there and observe the most wildest scene I have ever witnessed in my life. These 5 little bitty people dig themselves out of this mound of dirt, look around, look at us, and start speaking in another language like they're cursing us out. That's the feeling I got, like they were pissed. And then dive into the river and go under the water. Did you hear what I said to you? Dive in the river and go under the water. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced anything so freaky or so weird that it threw you off for the rest of the day. That threw me off, and I shut the job site down. I said, nope, we done for the day. I go inside. I tell the homeowner I experienced something on the backside of your property. I'm going to take a day off. They asked me what I saw. I try to explain it to them, and they act like I'm crazy. Get this. The following day, we come back to the job site, me and my whole crew. We go ahead and push that dirt. My guy uses the dozer to level the land out, and the homeowner's wife comes out. And she says, well, my husband doesn't believe in the supernatural and the paranormal. But I told him the reason why we should not be messing with this backyard is because the little people live back there. And she goes on to explain to me that she believed the mound that was back there was a home for little people. Now, I don't know nothing about no damn little people. Never heard of them, never dealt with them. But she goes on to tell me that there's a curse for anybody who messes with the homes of the little people. Now, fast forward about 2.5 months, we completely redone that yard. It's amazing. They're having a fundraiser. The dock is extended. Things are beautiful. We're all there talking. They're having a fundraiser. Everybody's out there. Things are beautiful. They have the microphone set up on the dock, and they start to acknowledge our company for the renovation work that we did and how we did a beautiful job. They call my boss, the company owner, to the dock to do a little speech, and he's standing there talking when something invisible, literally pushes him off the dock into the water. Listen, he's standing there holding the microphone, and it looks like Ray Lewis runs into him and tackles him. His body goes flying into the water. Now, the wife of the homeowner is there trying to help him out of the water, and something flips her into the water. And I need you to understand something. This is the Trefunkta River, a flowing river, alligators, all kinds of stuff in there. These people are starting to float down river. Now, all hell breaks loose as people are scrambling, trying to get them out of the water. Now, get this. Each and every person that tried to help them and got close to the water's edge, they went flipping into the water. I'm observing this and watching this saying, oh, hell no, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I ain't got nothing to do with this. All right, I want to start my story off by saying this to you, and I want to be clear. For a little while this was going on, I thought I was losing my mind. Let me give you the background of what I was going through. See, I've been working for FedEx for 15 years, and during that process, I've had my ups and downs. I've had routes changed. I've had new bosses come in. I've had coworkers get murdered. But around the time period where this was going on, I was dealing with problems with my family. My wife and I were struggling, and I was under the impression that she was cheating on me. Why? Because she gave me every indication that she was. Sitting in a car when she came home for work for hours in the driveway. Going out on weekends with her quote-unquote girlfriend. And I need you to understand something. As a man, All I did was provide for my family. I didn't go out, I didn't hang out, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do drugs. In my mind, I did everything that a man is supposed to do. And it's a funny thing when you find yourself in a situation like that. Your mind starts to race. Because in many ways, your mind is like its own city. You have places in your mind that you drive through and it's beautiful houses, beautiful decorations, cut lawns. It's amazing. Then there's these areas in your mind, the dark areas, where you turn down the street and the street lights are broken, the windows are shattered, and it's a bad neighborhood. Well, I found myself in this time period visiting that bad neighborhood in my mind quite often. Imagine the scene, I'm driving my route, and there's the thing you need to know about being a driver. You see, you can drive a vehicle, but not be consciously driving a vehicle. You can kind of just be going through the routines. You're paying attention, but you're completely somewhere else in your mind. Now, if you're not used to doing this, it's extremely dangerous. But for a person like me who does it all the time, hey man, I could be driving my FedEx truck, but I am not in that truck. I'm somewhere in my mind trying to figure out and solve a problem. And that's where I was the very first time that I saw one of these dogmen jump across the road. Now, I'm not sure if you call them puppies or whatever you call them, but this thing was smaller than what everybody describes. It was about the size of 2 car tires. It runs out from the trees down into the ditch and jumps in one leap across the road, lands down in the ditch, and goes off into the woods. However, remember, like I was trying to explain to you, at that moment in time, I was in a bad neighborhood in my mind. So I didn't really believe that I saw what I saw, if that makes any sense to you. Like, I saw it, yes. But I'm thinking, okay, man, your mind is all over the place. You're hallucinating. So I just keep on driving, going on about my business, do my route, head home, and start to deal with the problems at home. Now, at home, over time, the situation seemed like it was getting better. She chilled out with sitting in her car when she came home. She was staying in the house a lot more often. She wasn't going out with her girlfriends every weekend. And over time, I thought things were getting better. I really, really did. Then it all went down. I mean, the truth comes falling from the sky like somebody jumping off of the World Trade Center. Because I decided for once I'm going to hang out with my coworkers after work. Something that I absolutely did not do. And to be honest with you, I paid a price for being non-social on the job. There were plenty of guys who came into this job and were extremely social, and they prospered. I mean, they hung out with everybody, got to be friends with everybody. Next thing you knew, they were managers. Me, my whole life was sitting around taking care of family, so I didn't do those things. Job was secondary to family. Nonetheless, all of us go out to Top Golf. We're hitting golf balls, having drinks, hanging out, having fun. And our stall is the furthest one to the left-hand side, which allows you to see over the parking lot. Now, that Top Golf shared the parking lot with Cheesecake Factory and all the rest of these restaurants. So I'm there with my friends, having beers, drinking, laughing, joking, and something tells me to look out into the parking lot. When I look out into that parking lot, I see my wife getting out of the car with another man, hugging and kissing and going into the Cheesecake Factory. So now I'm standing there in total shock. But luckily, nobody at this job had ever met my wife. So they didn't know that my wife was out in public with another man cheating on her. So I quickly excuse myself and head downstairs, out the building. So I quickly excuse myself, head downstairs, drive my vehicle over and park as close as I can to where they are parked. And I sit there. 1 hour passes. 2 hours pass. 3 hours pass. My coworkers are calling me, telling me that they're headed home, and I'm letting them know, nah, I'm good. I had to go make a stop and check on something. I'll catch you guys later. Finally, the two of them come walking out, holding hands. So I crank the car, pull up right next to them, driver's side window rolled down, and I look at it. And I say, now all this working I've been doing to provide for you and my family, and this is what you out here in these streets doing? And you know the worst thing about it? There was not a look of remorse on her face whatsoever. She just looks at me and tells me that I can pick up the kids from by her sister and that she won't be coming home. So now I head to her sister's house, pick up the kids, go home, and I'm just sitting there in shock. And I know you're saying to yourself, now why would you be telling me all of this? Because I'm going to tell you what I saw the following day. And I'm going to tell you, I truly believe when Darkwater says you have these encounters based on the status and situations that's going on in your life, man, I'm telling you, I had some horrific crap going on in my life when I had my encounter. And I think what he's saying is the truth. The following morning, I get up, take the kids to school, go to work. Now I'm off on my route. And when I tell you I'm in the bad neighborhood, in my mind, I'm in the bad neighborhood. And in this neighborhood, wasn't no churches around in this neighborhood of my mind. It was the bad neighborhood. I'm thinking about doing all kinds of wicked and evil stuff to my wife, how she embarrassed me, how she doesn't care, how she took for granted the sacrifices that I made for her. I'm losing it. I'm on a 2-lane highway. Woods on the right-hand side, woods on the left-hand side. And when I tell you, it looks like one of these things emerges from the ground in the ditch, pitch black, like it shot straight up out of the ground. And it jumps into the street and stands there as I'm coming towards it. Like it's daring me to have a head-on-head collision with it. And we're talking about broad daylight. This thing is jet black, blacker than any black that you've ever seen. But it looks like a wolf, standing on 2 legs. Now remember, I told you I was in a bad place mentally. Honestly, I was suicidal at the moment. I didn't give a fuck. So I punch it, hit the gas, and I say, if you want to die, we gonna die together. And as I'm speeding towards this thing, it vanishes back into the ground. Like it just popped out of a portal and went right back in. The strangest, damnedest, most craziest thing that I've ever seen. It was 3 weeks later that I finally reached out to Dark Waters and told him about this story. And that's when he started sharing other encounters that people had exactly like this, where they just popped up out of nowhere. And he said they weren't flesh and blood. He said these things were demonic.